because I realized that I would be laughed at, I guess Chicken George calls it outed. I would be outed. So that's why I started calling myself a real fake outsider artist. Oh, and then there was the story, of course, I made a video about when I did the painting of the dog that's back here or something, and it sold, and it came back because whoever bought it said, oh, well, I found out this guy isn't a real folk artist. It's just, it's absurd. So here I'm kind of backing myself up here because, you realize the theme of this story I'm telling you is that I had no idea what folk art was or what outsider art was or any of this stuff is. Now I have a better idea what it is, and I still think art is art is art. You buy what you like, and I don't think going to art school has any, what I'm trying to think, like, it was more of a hindrance than anything else. Like I said, because I was just, paying attention and copying all this stuff. Well, I learned how to mix brown out of red, yellow, and blue. And I think that, you're born knowing what you do, and there's a certain level that you can achieve. And I think the only thing that art school does, other than maybe show you how to be commercial, maybe, there's certain processes, production things, and there's some technical things you can learn. But I think the basic, what art is basically, which is what design and color and texture and application, those basic things, I just think that art school just gives you names for what you do naturally. I don't know how much. I had to put a percentage on how much art school could actually teach you. I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if it's not very much. I think not for me. So the whole process for the 30 years that followed art school was to realize what I didn't learn in art school, and that was to be whatever I am, whatever I have to offer. So it was really difficult to shed, that training. So in a sense, whatever I'm doing now is even harder to do than if I had just not gone to art school and somehow found time. As I was working in a steel mill or whatever I would have done to do this on the side. So people that do this, that have training, I think that what people worry about is that somehow there's like an outsider art course or a folk art course that you can take in college, and you learn how to do this stuff. So it's like you're illustrating in that style, rather than evolving it from some kind of other background and illustrating what you want in that style. So you learn the style. That's never happened to me, never exposed to it, like I said, and I started doing it. And then when I saw other folk art, I realized, well, I didn't even know what I was doing was okay. Most of the time I thought it was just a waste of time. Like, why am I doing this? And so maybe, I don't know, but at least I found some validation there, and then there was another slow process, another 10 years, to get up to speed, where I just decided, to do what I do, and I had to, just deal with what comes out of it, right? I mean, I think that's the fun in life. Like, how many people go through life and they end up on their deathbed, and they look back and realize that who were they? They don't even know who they were. And who did you ever know? I don't know about that. I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure. The brain's a funny thing, the switch is going to be thrown the next day and you're somebody else. I have no idea. But there you go. There's my rant. There's my folk art rant. And I mentioned the other day that I don't feel competent discussing the history of folk art or folk art collectors or other folk artists. I still don't really know that much about it. And I resist, although there are 2 books on the way now concerning outsider art and folk art, which I will read, but I resist doing that because, I'm so pissed off at being influenced my whole life by, the environment and the things that I was taught in school, or the things I should have been or shouldn't have been as a commercial artist, that I resent. I just push it away. I hope I'm strong enough to get through these books without being influenced by it. That's the thing that scares me. I really don't want to. I want to do what I do and get it out and see what happens. Influences are bad. It's like, how many times have you joined a club or gotten heavily into a hobby and you get to a certain point and then it's all just moans and bitches and all this stuff and people are beating up one another over the head, and it just becomes like irritating. The hobby becomes irritating. I don't want to have a part of it anymore. Like that Groucho Marx thing. So I'd never join a club that would have me as a member. I'm kind of like that. But I do like doing this stuff. So I hope everybody that does this stuff is successful and continue, whether they're making money at it, which you won't, or whatever you're doing. I mean, just use it as self-expression. That's why anybody that paints a painting, no matter, whether I like it personally or not, I'm going to support that person because it takes a lot of balls to get out there and do this and expose yourself to ridicule and do this thing, no matter what what are you doing and who's to judge? That's the thing. There's no judgment. And the one thing about YouTube that's very interesting, man, as soon as you judge somebody, you're going to be wrong, because usually there's a lot more to the book than just the cover. Did your mother ever say that? There's a lot more going, and the person that's doing whatever they're doing is a lot more on the ball than you may think they are originally. So you got to be, careful about judging. So anyway, up with expression. That's it. It's just expression. And best wishes to everybody out there, and I hope you're all successful. And or just exercise your demons. There's a certain amount of success in that. It's better than smacking your dog around. I'm against that.